college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for Fanside. I am joined today by a man who knows exactly how to pronounce Portillo's, who may or may not have gotten kicked out of an Owls by asking where the beef was, and is thoroughly convinced that all the secrets to the universe lie in the back of a Lou Malnati's. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com. It's a Big Ten preview day. How are you, bud?
You know, they didn't kick me out of Arby's for asking where the beef was. They didn't kick me out of Wendy's. Like, I don't know, I didn't understand it. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
Uh, I'm doing all right. Went to CVS and I printed out a receipt longer than me. But before we begin, be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, give us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. My CVS is the jankiest CVS in Atlanta.
I mean, these days, are there any non-janky CVSs? Like the decline of CVS is something that should be studied.
Yeah, it's different. One of our favorite bars is right across the street. We face it just to people watch.
I mean, fair enough. It's an experience for sure.
Yeah, and also being in Chicago, I lived there for 3 years. You've been there a couple of times, so we know what's up.
CVSs are bountiful somehow still.
They absolutely are. And also starters, we now have shorts again because Cody's put in the good old hard work in there. We got one out there of me talking about Ole Miss. There might be
Yeah.
a South Carolina one, there might be an A&M one, and there might be a whole lot of other good, delicious ones here from Big Ten country.
Yeah, we're gonna have some good rants, some good conversations, some good nuggets that we have. And I'll probably throw in some just ridiculous stuff in there as well, because that's what we do.
I was watching this like, my God, does my skin look good?
Dude, the skincare routine is on fleek for sure.
It's all about what you do in the morning as opposed to what you do at night. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Sorry,
Uh,
see.
Someone needs to tell the NC State podcast, because God almighty, that stuff at night is taking forever.
I know. I just want to go to bed and I
I
can't.
I have time to water the grass and take the dogs out while she does her skincare routine.
I just go into existential dread, but that's neither here nor there.
That's doom. That's prime doom scrolling time if you have the time.
And when you're doom scrolling, you obviously messed up, and we've obviously fall started here today. Our first and 15 today is the definitely maybe slash the Sat Kimonos. Our picks for these highly distinguished honors in the Big Ten. You go first. What team definitely maybe might be good in the Big Ten this year?
I'm talking myself into the UCLA Bruins.
Hell yeah, me too.
Hell yeah, man. And look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, Nico wasn't like a superstar by any means last year,
No.
but he played well at UCLA last year. And I think that went kind of under the radar because of how tumultuous that was getting there. Well, he's back. He didn't transfer again. He's still at UCLA. And now you have Bob Chesney coming in. He's bringing in a lot of JMU transfers, the JMU team that made the college football playoff last year. I don't think UCLA is necessarily going to be a college football playoff contender or anything like that. But if this team won 8 or 9 games, I wouldn't think it was the craziest thing in the world. I think that you have a coach who knows what he's doing, who knows how to run this offense, has guys who knows how to run this offense, and a 5-star talent at quarterback to be able to run this offense with. I don't know if it's going to work seamlessly, but there are a lot of pieces here to get excited about if you're a UCLA fan.
Right there with you. Nico, this is his last best opportunity to prove that he's a high-end draftable player or a draftable player. Either way, he did play well down the stretch. UCLA was in a very tough spot with Chip Kelly leaving. They hired Deshaun Foster to kind of keep this thing going at alma mater. Didn't ultimately work out. They played pretty good under Rick Neuheisel's kidding. Jerry Neuheisel was the QB coach, offensive coordinator for a while.
Yeah.
And obviously, Bob Chesney comes over from JMU, brings a lot of JMU guys. I mean, he was at Holy Cross, holy smokes, just a couple of years ago with
Right.
Matthew Sluka. And now he's coaching Nico, man. And I don't know, maybe they're at the cut line for who could be a playoff contender or pretender in the Big Ten, but someone's got to, come out of the bog. Someone's got to come out of the lagoon, so to speak, and it might as well be UCLA.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I look at the teams like, you look at projected order of finishes in the Big Ten, you look at the teams around them. You're talking about Nebraska, you're talking about your Iowas, your Illinois, and stuff like that. Outside of Illinois in that group I just mentioned, like, I have a lot of negative and like negative things to say and concerns about those teams. Whereas, like, I'm looking at UCLA pretty optimistically, and that was kind of the deciding factor here.
That's wonderful. And just to throw another team into the bucket here,
Yeah,
let's go with the Northwestern Wildcats.
I thought you might. I thought
Yeah.
Northwestern might be where you went with this.
Yeah. Start out with a very Chicago heavy intro here, but I think Chip Kelly there really elevates the offense. David Braun knows defense. He's been there a while. They're actually playing in a football stadium as opposed to Azkaban. And then I think, honestly, Aiden Childs could play. I just think Jonathan Smith was just terrified of being away from Oregon for a couple of years, man.
I mean, the PNW calls to you. No matter what you want, where you go, it always calls.
It beckons there, man. Like Northwestern, I think they're a tick behind what UCLA is, but this is a team I feel pretty comfortable is going bowling.
Mhm.
And I think that they're going to win a game that's going to cause somebody in that league to get fired, just like last year with James Franklin at Penn State.
No, 100%. I mean, Northwestern's going to be frisky. I think they're going to be well coached. And, like, the issue with Northwestern is talent to some degree, but like they're not, this isn't like the worst Northwestern roster we've ever. This is a pretty decent Northwestern roster with good coaching, and that's going to lead to some surprising results, I think would probably be the way to say it.
I mean, we're kind of overdue for like a 10-win Northwestern team. Not saying that's happening this year, but it's within play.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely feels like we're trending towards one of those pop years for the Wild Kitties.
I respect that. I respect the hell out of that. Who are you not respecting? Who are you giving a satin kimono to? A team that's not winning 10 games.
I just want to see Kirk Ferentz in a satin kimono, so I picked
Yes.
Iowa.
I did too.
I don't think Iowa's going to be very good, man. Like, the only reason you would think I was going to be good is because I was always decent. And that's not a good enough reason for me at this point, man. Like, I have a lot of respect for Kirk Ferentz. I have a lot of respect for Phil Parker and what he's done with that defense. You don't have the personnel that you've had on defense over the past couple of years. You don't have a good quarterback on the roster. You're filling in some holes at running back and on the offensive line. Like, I just look at this roster and I don't know how they're going to move the football, man. Iowa's been successful when that's been the case before, but it's because Phil Parker has had the dudes on defense. And when I'm looking around and I'm not seeing those dudes, that's a very worrisome thing for the Hawkeyes.
I also have Iowa on here. I'm going to make sure I got this absolutely right because I don't remember. Okay, so Tim Lester is still
Mhm.
there coordinating the offense. Offense has been better, I guess. I mean, my intro for you was initially going to be, you wish you were on a beach eating hot dogs, but in reality, you wish you were laying on a Davenport in Davenport watching the drive to 325.
Oh, 100%. That's what I live for, man.
So yeah, Phil Parker's got that defense. Kirk Ferentz has been there forever, the longest tenured head coach in FBS. You know who's not there anymore? LeVar Woods.
Hmm.
He is on Pat Fitzgerald's staff, and he's Lansing. This is a guy who played for Hayden Fry and has spent his entire coaching career under Kirk Ferentz. For him to turn heel and leave, that's a problem. Also, you look on the basketball side of things. Ben McCollum got to the Elite Eight in year one, something that Fran McCaffrey couldn't do. Uh,
Yeah.
all he could do is produce a guy who wants to be with the best WNBA player right now.
Good job, man.
Good job, Fran. Yeah, I think Iowa's also probably got the worst quarterback situation of anybody in the Big Ten. You can go down like Drake Lindsay at Minnesota can play, or is a
Yeah.
lot of promise. Iowa, they're gonna win like 7 games. Like it's so stupid that we ranked them.
No,
It's
I mean they're gonna be a preseason AP top 25 team. I would almost
Yeah,
guarantee it because it's the Iowa annual number 23 in the country coming into the season. And I think that they have a chance to like quickly drop out of it. I don't see it with this team. And like I don't think the middle belly of the Big Ten is necessarily as strong as it is in the SEC, but I do think there are some quality teams and teams that I just have a lot more faith in than Iowa. And like when Iowa has to play those teams, I don't see the Hawkeyes coming out on top.
I don't know their schedule. Like, look, I don't think they're gonna lose to like Purdue or Michigan State, but I think Rutgers could get them
Yeah,
if they played them
yeah,
potentially. Like
100%.
Maryland has a puncher's chance, I guess. Uh, but the other team that I have on here besides Iowa that I think we need to talk about,
Mhm.
it's about a guy who wishes he was a Manning because he loves to suck the air out of the room. That's Matt Rule's Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Thought that might be where you were going with this next one. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like the cousin of the Mannings who just comes over and eats all the junk food.
Cousin Oliver and Matt Rule.
God. Who's the King Curtis? You as a kid.
That's right.
I don't see it with Nebraska. You put your trust and faith in a Satterfield, you're going to get burned.
Mhm.
Then I think people are just kind of going to get sick of him. I mean, Troy Dannon's like, what are we doing here? Like, you should make this work. And obviously, Penn State didn't want to hire this guy. He played at Penn State. He was, you know, the line meat playing next to LeVar Arrington, like one end of the spectrum of LBU to the other.
Right.
I just have a feeling this is going to get very stale. And honestly, if Dylan Raiola would have stayed, it would have been just an absolute tire fire, like a forest fire.
Mhm.
But I think this will probably reveal some bigger issues at play with Matt Rule this year. That scares me.
I'm with you on most of those points. Like, I'm honestly at the point with Matt Rule now, like, you probably should have already made something happen outside of, just getting to a bowl game, given all the chest pounding you've been doing since you got to Lincoln, Nebraska. Having said that, I'm gonna be watching Nebraska intently because we know who's playing quarterback, man. It's the whoopsie daisy king, Anthony Calandria.
Yeah, man. I'm all in on that. And maybe he's just slinging it for Dana did. Maybe that's what he's doing.
I hope so. I hope so.
I hope so too. And I don't hope any of these guys get fired, but it's getting hot in here.
You're damn right it is.
A little bit. I mean, it is August in the United States of America. What was the
Indeed.
temperature? What was the high today in Los Alamos?
It was actually not bad today. It was like 85, which considering it's been in the 90s most days for the past couple of weeks, welcomed. Welcomed for sure.
90 here. I'm like, this is fine. I'm walking there in a black shirt and on the topic of Nebraska, the black shirts and jeans. And I'm like, I'm fine, but I've got like the sweaty power grooves, so I got this hat on again.
That's right, baby. The sweat populates. That's all we can say.
I'm not going to say that. Something the Arizona State podcast said to me earlier when she had to go to the doctor. That was not nice.
Oh God.
Oh God. But yeah, that's how we're feeling about the 5 hottest seats in the Big Ten. I'll kick us off. We've been talking a lot about Iowa. I have Kirk Ferentz at 5.
I also have Kirk Ferentz at 5.
I'm so done with this. This is like with Mike Tomlin out of Pittsburgh. I'm so done with this. Like, just move on.
No, I mean, you mentioned LeVar Woods, which I think is a very interesting thing because I also wonder if that's a writing on the wall situation more than it is anything. He's not like, if there's a coach in waiting on Iowa's staff, it's Phil Parker. It was not LeVar Woods. And the fact that when you were looking at Kirk Ferentz at a time where it's kind of like, okay, a forced retirement's like very much on the table here, you have to wonder if Woods saw the wall and just got out of Dodge more or less and went to go get a job that he's, thinks is going to be a good situation for him. And the more I look at that, the more I just wonder, to your point, if this has just kind of run its course. And I mean, like, Kirk Ferentz has had a good career. I have a lot of respect for Kirk Ferentz and the level of consistency that he's been able to give Iowa. But it's like we're at a point where it's not consistency, it's stagnation, which is a problem.
At this point, just pay Burt whatever it takes to come home, brother.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got the Tiger Cat right here, man. He knows what's up there.
100%. He'd be a legend.
He would be like the best thing to happen to Iowa since at least Slipknot, probably.
Since Corn.
Since Cord. Since the Everly Brothers, man.
That's right.
I'm glad we're on the same page there with Kirk Ferentz. Who do you have at 4?
At 4, it brings me no joy, but I've got Barry Odom here.
Oh, sad, yes.
I think Barry Odom's a fine football coach. I think Barry Odom made a mistake taking the Purdue job. I think this is more a Purdue thing than it is a Barry Odom thing, but I think Purdue's going to be pretty ass this year. I think there's a real chance that they go 0 for the Big Ten. I just don't. And I know Purdue isn't in a position to necessarily take its football program too seriously right now because what is there to take seriously at this point? But at the same time, there are going to be boosters, especially with Indiana's success right now, who are calling for some sort of splash, some sort of upgrade. And if you have another 3-9, 2-10 season, that they're going to want to change.
I don't have Barry Odom listed because I want to see him succeed. Look, this isn't some podunk school. Like this is a public school, man.
Right.
This is it's one of the two flagship schools in Indiana. I guess well, Notre Dame's independent, but like you have
Notre Dame,
money.
if Notre Dame wants to be independent, they don't count. That's what
They
it
don't
is.
they don't count. There is pressure. I mean, yeah, you hope that you wash some of the Ryan Walters stink out of there, but you're so far removed from Jeff Brom calling the shots. Also, I don't know if you saw this. So Mike Babinski is out as AD. I think he retired. They hired a new guy named Tommy McClelland, and he was
Mhm.
basically fly ball caught.
I did see that.
Doesn't really give me a whole hell of a lot of enthusiasm there for the Purdue Boilermakers. I wish them the best, but it may not happen.
Yeah, and I have a feeling I know at least your number 4 and number 3 are. But he's probably my number 6 here. So who is your number 4?
That'd be the guy that likes to burn some brisket. That's Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I have him at number 6 here, and I figured you would probably have him at 4 instead of Barry Odom.
Yes, this is the same sort of thing that applies to Steve Sarkisian there at Texas. I don't think they're going to fire him. They might do it more so at USC just because Jennifer Cohen's got to make something happen. Whereas Chris Del Conte's, I mean, he just like is crushing getting Sean Miller, man. Like he's doing such
Yeah.
a good job there with the basketball program there at in Austin. But this is a year where people are expecting USC to do big things. Like they need to make the playoff or at least be among the first 4 out. Jade Malva, like this will probably be his last year. Um, you bring in Gary Patterson to revamp your defense. I don't think it's going to take, but you're trying there, Jennifer Cohen. That's what you're doing.
This is actually a Jennifer trying for once, you know. And like all your points are well taken. I look at Lincoln Riley less of a hot seat candidate and more of a like under the coaches under the most pressure. Like if this was a coaches under the most pressure ranking, like he's probably number 1 in the Big Ten for me. Actually, number 2, Dan Lanning's probably number 1. But like regardless, like I look at this and like he's under a ton of pressure, but like I also think USC is going to be good enough to where like I don't think his job's going to be in jeopardy, even if they don't make the playoff. Like I know that's the like what kind of the bar is for Lincoln Riley and USC right now, but even if they're like on the cusp, one of the first 4 out, like I don't think Lincoln Riley is going to be in danger of losing his job necessarily.
No, his middle name must be Cliff, as in Cliff Notes, because he just takes shortcuts.
That's right, 100%.
All right, so Barry Odom is 4 from you. Lincoln Riley was 4 for me. We might have the same top 3 potentially.
I think we probably do.
3 for me. That is Matt Rule.
It is for me as well. The hot bag of air himself.
We don't need to belabor the point here. We've touched on that enough with the Sat Kimoto fitting. I mean, I don't think Troy Dannon hired him. I think he was a Trev Alberts guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, Fred Hoiberg is doing unbelievable things on the basketball side of things. Nebraska's a football school. You have resources. You have I mean, Dominican Sue's got money to spend. I guess Warren Buffett's got some more free time finally. So
Right.
you can put that in there, dude. But yeah, Nebraska deserves better than what Matt Rule is providing. Hopefully Anthony Calandria and the rest of the guys can pull it together because it needs to happen this year.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I wouldn't say I'm going to phrase this carefully. I'm not rooting for Nebraska to fail, but I'm also certainly not rooting for Matt Rule to succeed necessarily. He's very hard to root for, in my opinion. And the more you look at the situation, like, if this doesn't go well this year for Nebraska, it's going to be framed as you let a homegrown or like a not homegrown, but a 5-star talent, Dylan Raiola, coming to, a family institution in Nebraska, and you let him just leave. And like you didn't like realize the fruits of your labor in that. And then you brought in a guy who's bounced around all of college football in Calandria just to keep failing. And like at that point, that's not going to be framed very well and favorably towards Matt Rule.
The Raiola point's great. I mean, that's the best legacy Nebraska's
Legacy. I could not think of
had.
the word legacy. Jesus Christ.
That's okay, man. It's the afternoon on a Wednesday. It's hump day, and we're all thinking about something else. This felt today.
You're not kidding, man.
Yeah, dude. So we're not going to waste any more air talking about Matt Rule. Let's talk about who's at number 2 here. Maybe we have the same order, maybe not. I don't know. Who do you got it to?
Their seats are both really, really high. So like
Yes.
you can interchange them. I have Mike Locksley at two,
And I have him at one. And my number two is Luke Fickle. You have him.
who I have at number one. Yeah, I mean, both these are two of the hottest seats in the country. So like it's one or two doesn't really matter. They both of these guys on the track to get fired right now.
So, what was the deciding factor for Loxley being at two instead of Fickle? Because we're splitting hairs here. It's 1A, 1B, really.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it's the fact that Wisconsin cares more about football than Maryland. And like that's just kind of where I came down on it is I look at Wisconsin football and the proud tradition that they have there. And like not to say Maryland hasn't produced NFL talent, not to say that Maryland hasn't had good seasons, but it's not the same tradition that you have in Wisconsin. And you have a guy who's come in there and basically kind of like upended that tradition and like what had made Wisconsin football successful. And not only did he upend it, he's failing in doing so and failing miserably. It's not like a frisky Mississippi. Like we watch Mississippi State, struggle to get to bowl eligibility, but we can see like the team is trying. The team is fun to watch. They're just still building towards something. Wisconsin doesn't feel like they're building towards a damn thing. Wisconsin feels like they are straight up regressing and regressing and regressing further and further and further. And so much of it stems from Luke Fickle that I just think when you weigh the tradition with that, that's why I had him at number one.
There are, I've been writing at Fansided for over 11 years now. There are only three teams that just absolutely destroyed me to write about: the 2015 Braves,
Mm-hmm.
the 2020 Atlanta Falcons, and the 2025 Wisconsin Badgers. Because I was briefly on that team,
Mm-hmm. Oh
and
yeah, you were. Hell yeah, you were.
it was so bad. It was so bad. You may have actually convinced me to switch it around, but I think the reason that I put Fickle at two as opposed to Loxley is I think there have been some more changes at Wisconsin as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
Maryland. You know what? What's the AD? Chris McIntosh is now like
Mm-hmm.
Tony Petitti's like right hand man there in the Big Ten office. You hire Sean Eichhorst over from Texas. He's got to figure this out. Your president Jennifer Newkins would rather just deal with books with Columbia over there in the Ivy League.
Yes.
So maybe they're gonna try to figure this out with Luke Fickle, but obviously he's Steve Coogan about to step on a landmine. Um, whereas
Who's the Ben Stiller holding the rifle with his severed head on
it's blood flavored corn syrup. These special effects are so good.
it? It's Billy Edwards after what Luke Fickle did to him last year.
That was an unforgivable thing to watch.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Don't let him play Maryland. And at least I know with Mike Loxley he can coach. Like he's going to get hired immediately as an OC or quarterbacks coach. Malik Washington can play. But I think the bigger problem at hand is you've gone 4-8 in the last couple of years. More importantly, James Smith's been there a little bit longer. Your AD coming over from the Braves and the Falcons and all that stuff. So maybe you're like, you know what? We've kind of seen what we can do here. Maybe we want to get some more fresh blood in there. But again, like, I don't think either of these coaches are coaching in 2027.
No, I don't either. I think I may have mentioned it, and if I didn't, did you see Locke's quote about
Yeah,
4-8?
I did.
Like for the starters out there, he said, I know you look at the records and we've gone 4-8 the last 2 years, but last year's 4-8 was different than the year before's 4-8. No, you won four games. Like that's not acceptable. Like, that's not an acceptable result. Like what are we talking about? Like I already had Mike Locksley on the hot seat. That was the moment I decided the dude's definitely getting fired.
The only person who'd be happy with going 4-8 or 4-12 at the plate would be the Tony Gwynn of the Tony Gwynn of this generation, Luis Ariz.
That's right. No walks, just singles, baby.
Rod Crew, eat your heart out, I guess.
Oh my God.
That destroyed you.
That was good. That was really good.
That was good. Instead of talking about Davenports and Davenport, we're going to be coming to you live from Eric Crouch's Caps. That was another good transition.
Yes, sir.
Our top five Heisman contenders in the Big Ten plus sleeper.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. This is I found this one more interesting, I think, than the SEC, in my opinion.
I did too. Where do you want to start?
So I'll start with number 5 for me. I have Julian Saint at number 5, which is probably lower than most, I would say. To me, it really comes down to the fact that I think Ohio State's top two candidates, who would be Julian Sayin and Jeremiah Smith, which I'm always going to favor the quarterback in that equation, they're going to eat each other's votes essentially. And I think that it's going to be more of an Ohio State appreciation than it is an individual achievement appreciation for someone like Julian Sayin.
I obviously have Julian staying on here at a little bit higher, but not much. I'll unpack that here when we get to him. At number 5 for me, I've got a guy. It doesn't mean no joy to put him on here. That's a new Indiana quarterback, Josh Hoover.
I have Hoover pretty high, unfortunately.
He turns the ball over too much. He's basically the John Mateer of the Big Ten now. I think Coach Sig will put him in advantageous positions to succeed, but my God, Mike Shannon has to coach his ass off with this guy.
I may or may not have talked myself into Josh Hoover, which I'm a little terrified of.
Dude. I don't think like maybe Coach Sig can wear the black hat. I don't think Josh Hoover is really ready for what's about to be thrown his way. And he'll play fine. He'll win some games, but he's gonna be the driver 10 and 2, man. That's what he's gonna do.
I'll unpack some Josh Hoover thoughts here in a minute for sure.
All right. Who do you have at 4?
At 4, I've got Bryce Underwood, and look, man, I can't quit the kid. But we're also talking about an offense that's coming here that knows how to utilize quarterback mobility. And you talk to any Michigan fan from a year ago, the biggest complaint about Bryce Underwood was, my God, why aren't we using this 5-star athlete's legs? And that when they started doing it at the end of the season, my God, the offense looked like kind of functional for an 18-year-old running it. And with another year in the building, staying put, not transferring, I think is also a big thing. Even if the staff changed over, like I still think like having like setting down some roots, I think is a big deal for Bryce Underwood. And now you have an adult in the room and Kyle Whittingham and his staff. Like I think it's really going to benefit Bryce Underwood. And let's also be clear, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I look at the Heisman when I'm talking about preseason candidates as like a window of opportunity. If Michigan's going to be like a college football playoff team, Bryce Underwood better be freaking good. And if that's going to happen, he's going to be like getting more consideration for this award.
He was like my first cut beyond like honorable mention here.
Yeah.
I do think using his legs is going to be key. I think he's also playing for a head coach who likes to run the football and defensive-minded Kyle Whittingham, which also, I mean, we all know where Sharon Moore's head was at. It wasn't on the football field,
No.
but he's a former guard at Oklahoma. Isn't it like in your blood to run the football? But for some reason, you couldn't do this. I agree with you. Like, if Michigan's going to be a playoff team, Bryce Underwood's got to play out of his mind, but their schedule is probably the most brutal in the country.
Yeah, and like to be clear, I'm not predicting that Bryce Underwood wins the Heisman by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think like there is a window of opportunity because to that point, if he plays like out of his mind against that rough schedule, we're gonna start talking about it.
I think that's fair. I can get behind that. And maybe you can get behind who I've got at number 4. I've got USC quarterback Jade Mayava.
I have him at number 3.
We think USC is more likely in the playoff picture than not. And again, like as we do these previews, this will change our perception. Hopefully, we make a few minor changes from what we did with our playoffs. You could be from last week because
I'm sure I will.
I'm sure I will. You're not going to remember yours anyway. That's great.
I have no idea what I put down, dude. Are you kidding me?
No, me neither. But look, Lincoln Riley's had his quarterbacks win Heisman's before. USC's is a glamour program where you can get the Heisman Trophy, and it's kind of the same sort of bucket with like John Mateer at Oklahoma, where like the opportunity presents itself. Mayava has a blue collar ethos about him. That's what actually wins at USC, but a lot of people don't realize that. Mm-hmm. I think he just plays very, very well. I mean, like maybe he finishes like third, but I think he could potentially get to New York for sure.
No, agreed 100%. I mean, it's a Lincoln Riley quarterback. We've seen that win Heisman trophies. We've seen that be wildly productive before. And I like you said, I think Jade Mayava is just I think he's the perfect quarterback for this system. Like he is going to do everything. He's going to take the layups that are handed to him. He has the ability to make 3-pointers if you need him to. And like, I think it's going to end up with a really productive season for what I think is going to be a really good USC team.
100%. So I'm seeing how the board plays out here. We have the same top 2, and I haven't shared my 3, which is Julian Sayin.
Okay. Nice.
He's the only returning Heisman finalist here. Maybe he does this. I do kind of wonder if Ryan Day is really. I kind of wonder if Julian Sayin's just kind of an idiot. He might be. Some of the stuff he's saying, like this is kind of, Yeah, you shouldn't be obsessing about Michigan right now. You got to play Texas, dude. You got to play Indiana. You got to play Oregon. Like, let's not worry about the team up north. Like, rivalries are great, but you think Kirby Smart's obsessing about Florida? No, dude. He's got to play other games, dude.
You think he's thinking about Georgia Tech right now? Because I don't.
No.
I certainly don't. And like Michigan's like maybe the fourth best team that Ohio State plays this year. Maybe. And like I don't. Yeah, not there. We have a different top two because I have Josh Hoover at number two.
Oh yeah, you did. That's true. Darn.
I know who I have a good feeling. Who do you have at number two?
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I don't have Jeremiah Smith in my top five.
Dang. Okay, and then it's Josh Hoover's at two, Jeremiah Smith's at two for me, and we both have Dante Moore at one.
Correct. Yes. And let me explain my Jeremiah Smith thing. Jeremiah Smith is the best player in the Big Ten. I'm not like he is the best player in college football. Like regardless, I am firmly digging my feet in the fact that it's going to take something otherworldly for a wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy in the modern era of college football. And to the earlier point I made about Julian saying, I think him and Jeremiah Smith are going to eat into each other's vote shares, and I just don't see it happening. Like, I just don't think that there's a world where Jeremiah Smith is going to end up holding the Heisman Trophy. I'm not trying to disrespect the kid. It's just how Heisman Trophy voting works more than anything else.
And I think that's fair. I think he's just gonna go play for the Raiders next year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Fernando to Jeremiah Smith, sign me the hell up. That's sick.
Mario Cristobal in shambles.
Dude, absolutely.
He's the guy that like you broke his toy and now he doesn't have a toy anymore.
That's right.
I gotta stop making assumptions for you. I feel like I'm being an ass about it.
No, it's fine, dude.
So yeah, Josh Hoover, you're coming around on this because it's Coach Sagan, it's Josh Hoover.
So definitely the coach Sig and I think Mike Shanahan's done a phenomenal job like in this role. And so that's definitely part of it. The other part that I've like where I've really like convinced myself of a lot of things with Josh Hoover, throwing to Nick Marsh and Charlie Becker is a little bit different than throwing the ball to whatever TCU has at wide receiver.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
And like when you think about a really productive offense, when you think about a quarterback who does like to sing the ball downfield, doing it to two likely first round draft picks or at least top 50 picks that we're talking about in Marsh and Becker, I think that it'll cut down on the interception numbers because 50-50 balls become 75-25 balls. And so you're not throwing it up in as much danger as you were at TCU. So I think the interception numbers can get depleted a little bit. And then on top of that, I just think that you're going to have to throw the ball because your running game is not going to be what it was last year. So like statistically, I could see a world where Josh Hoover puts up better numbers than Fernando Mendoza did a year ago.
And I think that's fair. I think that he'll take better shots down the field. He'll throw the ball better.
Yeah.
Like the numbers will be more productive because like again, your receiving core is better, but I'm also like it's cold in Bloomington, Indiana in November. So like
Fair.
this isn't Fort Worth, Texas, man, where it gets a little chilly. But
it's completely fair. I
goes
don't feel good about being on Josh Hoover's corner. Like that's not a place I ended up like expected to end up here, but here we are.
It goes from code to
That's right.
And then I just think Jeremiah Smith is just God's gift to the earth, basically, at this point. And I can't wait to see him play for the Raiders in 2 years. And then we got Dante Moore at number one. I'm gonna have a very hard time picking anybody other than him to be my favorite to win the Heisman coming in.
I largely agree. My concern with Dante Moore is twofold. First off, I feel like he is in a position, and this is unfair to him. I want to be clear when I say this. Like, I understand that it's unfair to him, but he is in a position that I don't envy, which is someone who was highly touted and chose to return to school despite the fact they were an NFL draft pick. We've seen that several times, whether that's Heisman Trophy winners who won as underclassmen had to return, whether that's guys who won a Heisman Trophy as an upperclassman and then chose to return, whether that's guys who had great seasons and then came in as the Heisman favorite the next year. The track record of those guys is not particularly favorable to Dante Moore. Now, Dante Moore's in a great position to buck that trend. And so, like, I don't want to be completely unfair to him because I do think he is one of the favorites. I do think he is going to have a wildly productive season. The other factor in this, though, is the Oregon. If I can't fully trust Oregon, that a lot of that is going to fall on Dante Moore, whether fair or unfair for if they do suffer a loss that they shouldn't, whether that's fair or unfair to anyone but Dan Lanning at this point. But I do think it is going to come back on Dante Moore because of the scenario that I just laid out, that he's supposed to be the guy that came back to win a national championship. He's supposed to be the guy that came back to win a Heisman Trophy. And if you fall short of those things, if you don't put up the physical numbers that your Heisman contender peers do, then I think that's going to be held against Dante Moore, whether fair or unfair. But again, I do have him as my number one candidate for a reason. He's going to be really effing good this year.
So he's going to delay the inevitable point for the Jets. So that's I know
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
who would say so Dante Moore's Inferno is he just becomes Matt Barkley is basically what you're implying.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, yes.
Here's why I think he's probably my pick to win the Heisman. Yes, I do think that losing Will Stein at Kentucky matters. You still have Drew Maringer in the program, but Dan Lanning is especially petty. He can't smile. He just likes to go for the kill, but he doesn't always get the kill. They're going to put up like an absurd amount of numbers versus USC, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, this is like Peyton Manning riding around on a horse. Whoop-de-doo bow, so what does it mean? And then he's going to get like just smoked by Ohio State or Indiana when they play him later. And that'll hold him against him. But, again, Indiana, like unless Josh Hoover plays out of his mind or, somebody clearly emerges in Columbus, I mean, maybe he's the best guy in the Big Ten right now. So I'm thinking about that.
No, 100%. And like, I will say, like, Dan Lanning is petty. We also saw him try to really go for the Heisman with Bo Nix a couple years ago. Bo Nix didn't win a Heisman Trophy.
No, Bo Chapman Nix.
Yeah. And Kalen DeBoer in Washington had a say in that. And like to your point about like what's going to happen against Indiana or what's going to happen against Ohio State, like that kind of cost Bo Nix a real chance at the Heisman Trophy.
He's back. He's put in all the hard work. He's so prepared for this, and that's how I kind of feel about my honorable mention. I got cousin Devon Williams.
He was a little too high on the odds board for me to call a sleeper, but I almost I couldn't not have Ohio State representation in my top five, but in my heart of hearts, I would have Devon Williams over Julian Say.
Okay, that's all fair. I think Washington will be fun, but we'll see. I don't think they're gonna be as good as Ohio State. They'll be fun, all right.
Yeah, my deep sleeper at a position that I don't think is going to win the Heisman, but Wayne Knight at UCLA, dude was awesome last year. I think he had like 1,800, 1,900 all-purpose yards at JMU. UCLA, I like a lot of what they're doing. Their skill position talent, somewhat lacking. Wayne Knight's very good, though, and I think he's going to see the ball a lot in that offense.
He's going to be called the postman because he's delivering the mail.
That's right, man. Wayne Dennis Nedry Knight out there in UCLA.
I can't wait for actually, unless Gus Johnson does this, he needs to like stop doing this. When he scores a touchdown, it's like, Wayne Knight, let the dinosaurs out. Let's go.
He should drop a forgot to say the magic word.
I think Gus Johnson likes Jurassic Park more than you Natalie, do.
I don't know, man. That's a tough sell. I'm a big dinosaur. There's a new dinosaur movie coming out this week. I'm very excited. End of Oak Street. Very stoked for it.
And I love it. When Dr. Alan Grant was over there in Jurassic Park and one of the T-Rexes was charging at him, he said, "Playoffs. You kidding me? Why would there be playoffs? There's dinosaurs out here, man. There's Jeff Goldblum out there."
It's the Jurassic playoffs.
I want to take Jeff Goldblum up to Toronto outside of where the Raptors play and put him in Jurassic Park and say, this is a very peculiar place.
That's right.
I've told you about this. I saw this list, like what's the most patriotic thing ever? It's Jeff Goldblum at Independence Day.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
Whoopi Goldberg in that Knicks movie and Jeff Goldblum at Independence Day.
Yeah, I can't argue with either of those, man.
No, it's cinematic masterpieces.
I saw a post about Jurassic Park the other day of someone making fun of someone, I think on Reddit, talking about how Jurassic Park wasn't that good a movie because it like was so simple and didn't have any metaphor or anything to it. And I was like, brother, did we watch the same movie? Because I'm pretty sure it's a giant metaphor.
It's such a good movie. It gave me horrible PTSD to get it. It made me wired to never like scary movies. That's how good it was.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah, back when Blockbuster was busting out through, man.
Dude, RIP. Miss Blockbuster every day.
Pour one out. I think the only one that still exists is in Bend, Oregon, home of Sam Clavicula. Love it.
That's right. Our boy, our king.
Didn't even think Louisiana was a real place.
Our quarterback mogging king.
What a legend. He might get in the Hall of Fame here. Even though I think we kind of got our class figured out for the most part here.
That's right.
So playoffs, you kidding me? Big Ten locks, contenders, and pretenders.
Hmm.
I've got three locks. How about you?
I also have three locks as well, which I have to assume they're the same three locks.
Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon. They've made the 12-team playoff each of the first 2 years in its existence. These are three of the top 6 or 7 programs in the country. It's really not that hard.
No, it's I'm I think you could do a lot worse than betting on these three teams, these three coaches, to make the college football playoff.
Like if you were to pick all three of them like in a parlay to make the playoff, you would still have to it would still be negative. Like
Oh, 100. The play first off, the playoff odds right now are just wildly skewed, just absolutely absurd. I think Ohio State's like minus 800 to make the playoff right now.
like if you had all three in a parlay, it's probably like minus like 200 to do
I can
probably.
tell you what it is.
Oh yeah.
We have the internet. Like this is not hard.
All right, we have the internet here. So yeah, you said Ohio State's like minus 800.
Yes, sir.
Like these are all like minus ones, like going in, right? Like or at least if not, Indiana's like
Oh
plus
no, I
110.
think they're all huge minus ones. Hold on, I've got to go. I couldn't find it on one sports book. I'm not gonna give any free ads here.
No, we're not giving
Uh
free ads here, but um, you can go to a sports book and do things.
that's right.
In some states, but maybe not the one I'm in. Maybe the one you're in. I don't know. Probably not. That's not how
No,
that
yeah,
works.
you have to go to the physical brick and mortar. Oh, I apologize. Ohio State's not minus 800. Notre Dame is minus 800 to make the playoff, which is the lowest odds. Ohio State is minus 360. Indiana is minus 350. And Oregon is minus 320. The second, third, and fourth best odds to make the college football playoff right there. Let's see. We can parlay calculator because I'm not in a state where you can actually bet. So I have to
Yeah.
do the actual calculations for this. Let's see, minus 360, minus 350, minus 320.
Uh,
Let's see. That will give us, plus odds, plus 116, baby. Just barely.
and like most things on this program, I was wrong. But you know what? Just
Hey,
do
I
that's
was right. I thought it would have been minus as well.
that's free money. That's like a dividend there, man. Just take that. Take that at the end of the year. Yeah.
100%. Like
Like,
you'll have to sit on it for 4 months, but it'll be fine.
to do it, cousin Eddie says, go out there and buy yourself something really nice.
Something really nice.
Wonder if the odds are for UNLV to make the playoff.
Probably low.
Yeah,
Probably low.
I have 3 contenders.
Okay. I have 2. So I'm interested because I'm sure you have my 2, but I'm interested to see who you add into this.
Michigan, USC, and Washington.
Okay. I do not have Washington as a contender. That's what it is.
And I think that's fair. I think Michigan and USC have kind of separated themselves, but Washington's like knocking on the door or knocking on a door.
They're knocking on the door. I don't know where it goes, but they're knocking on it for sure.
Do you? It's probably like being John Malkovich. I was talking to the Arizona State podcast the other day. If we remake that movie, it's called Being Don Cheadle.
That'd be sick. I'd love that. That'd be awesome.
Just being Don Cheadle. I don't even know what it's about. Just being Don Cheadle sounds like the next movie. Also, Terrence Howard, you're an idiot for messing up with the Avengers.
Good call. Lost yourself millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I have Washington as my first pretender, but my thoughts with Washington are I like Damon Williams a hell of a lot. I like Jed Fish as a head coach. You lost a decent amount on defense, which does worry me for a defense that really wasn't all that impressive last year. And then the skill position talent, you just got to replace a lot from that group. And I'm not saying they're incapable of it. I think Washington's going to be a good team. I just wonder if it's a 9-3 ceiling as opposed to a 10-2, 11-1 ceiling. And it's splitting hairs, but like that's I see them as a slight cut below what USC and Michigan could potentially be.
I respect that. So who else is a pretender for you along with Washington?
Penn State and Iowa. And that's where I stopped the list because I don't think anyone else. I think if you say anyone else in the Big Ten in the college football playoff, I'm gonna look at you funny. Like that's just where we're
Yeah.
at.
So I do have three, and you look at me funny for thinking UCLA could do it because I want to believe, man. I want to
Dude,
believe in Santa
hey, I
Claus.
can't even look at you funny for that one because I respect it so much, you know?
But yeah, I have Iowa also and Penn State there too. We've mentioned enough about Iowa. I think Penn State, like, yeah, they've got a schedule, but like
That's the
also
whole reason
Iowa's
people are picking them as like a sleeper for the playoff. And like every time you pick someone to be a sleeper for the playoff because of the schedule, lo and behold, the team's not effing good enough to do it.
there was one team that did, and they made it last year. And we called it. That was Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
We're not
good
we're
call.
not calling it, we're not calling it this year.
And I can't even fault Ole Miss on that one because they were also damn impressive throughout that schedule. They navigated landmines and then they got into the playoff and got hot and made it to the semifinals. So like I don't think Penn State's capable of that. I don't like Penn State is a much worse team than last year's Ole Miss.
And I respect that. And for the likes of Illinois, Maryland, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Purdue, Rutgers, and Wisconsin, not a chance.
No shot, brother.
Not
I'll eat my hat if one of those guys if one of those teams ends up in the playoff. No shot.
look. I think there's a chance Maryland could be fun if Malik Washington clicks. Same with Minnesota with Drake Lindsay, and obviously we've mentioned very good things about Northwestern. But like, nah,
This ain't the Big 12. Sorry, it's just not. These lists
no,
are going to be much more robust when we get to the Big 12.
yeah. When we get to the Big 12, this list is going to be wild here. And if you say this phrase to somebody in the Big 12, they're going to look at you funny. Let's do some do Haas or do Haas.
They've never heard that language before.
No. Why would you go to Germany? We bombed them, right? No, that's not how that works. Germany's a nice place. Definitely go there.
That's right. They like beer. What's your problem, man?
What's your problem? I'm in the Big 12. There you go. That's your problem there. So our do Hast or do Hast here is, will the Big Ten get a fourth team into the playoff this year beyond the likes of Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do Haas 1S. I think so. I think that at the end of the day, I come down on the idea that I think the SEC might end up beating itself up too much. And I think the SEC still gets four teams in, but there's still room for the SEC and Big Ten to both get four teams in, two from one of the other Power Four leagues, and then you end up with, one league with one representative, and then the G5 representative, obviously. But I just think that I mentioned it earlier. The middle belly of the Big Ten is weaker than it is in the SEC. One hand, you're talking about strength of schedule. On the other hand, you're talking about more opportunity for a team like USC, for a team like Michigan to potentially handle the middle belly and produce a good enough record, produce good enough results, even if you do lose in your biggest games of the season, to still end up making the playoff. Where you're also taking those games and you're not necessarily getting beat down as much. You're not as susceptible to the letdown game. You're not as susceptible as having to go play on the plains in October or November against a really frisky Auburn team. That I don't expect to be great, but that I expect to be frisky. And there's not an Auburn here in the Big Ten. There's not a Florida here in the Big Ten that would scare me in the way that it does with SEC teams. So rather than it being like a 5-3 SEC to Big Ten split, I do think the Big Ten ultimately gets one of USC or Michigan into the playoff.
I've gone back and forth on this. I was trying to do the calculus in my head. The Notre Dame of it all messes everything up
Oh,
here.
I forgot about Notre Dame too. But I mean, you could still have a one bid ACC and one bid Big 12 too.
That's true. For the sake of argument right now, I'm going to say do Haas two S's.
Fair.
I feel much more confident with the SEC getting four in than I do the Big Ten. Notre Dame throws a wrench in this. I think there's a non-zero chance that the ACC gets two in, or maybe the Big 12. Like for this to happen, you would need like SMU, Louisville, or Clemson to kind of beat Miami and Charlotte, which I think is plausible. And you would basically need for like Texas Tech and BYU to split in the Big 12. I'm just having a really hard time putting a lot of faith in Michigan. And it's coming down to like, how much do I trust USC versus how much do I want to believe in SMU with Kevin Jennings going to the Kevin Jennings Recovery Center. So maybe I'll look stupid here, but
Unbelievable that he got dinged up and had to go to the Kevin Jennings Recovery Center.
that's like this the snake eating its tail, isn't it?
100%. I'm gonna heal myself.
But this is very close. Like it's so hard. And I think very quickly we will know if this is a 14 league.
Yeah, 100%. I think USC and Michigan will kind of reveal themselves pretty quickly. And I mean, even Washington to that degree, if we want to add your other potential contender in there, I think we'll know pretty quickly whether or not they have the right stuff to do that. Because you look at those teams, and especially in USC's case, like one of the biggest things you have going for you is a veteran presence. And like that is a good thing coming into the season, but if it doesn't look like it's supposed to early on, there's only so much room for growth. And like that's a worrisome proposition.
With USC and Michigan, they both have two huge home games early.
Mhm.
There's a dog there, I think.
Oh no, there's a bug. I was just swatting it
Oh,
away.
that's okay. That's fine.
There's a wall here. There's nothing here.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's a wall here too. Like I said, Michigan's hosting Oklahoma. You win that game, we'll view Michigan in a different light. And honestly, USC's got to beat Oregon and Los Angeles.
I'm not ruling it out,
No,
but
I'm not ruling that out either. Yeah.
but I mean it does for sure need to happen.
It for sure needs to happen, just like this last segment needs to for sure happen with some good bowl slash Big Ten energy. What are we
Mhm.
looking forward to out of the Big Ten this year?
I'm gonna start with I think there's going to be some good coach feuds. Like
Yeah.
Sig's out here pounding his chest a little bit. Ryan Day's always bound to say something. Kyle Whittingham's trying his damnedest not to say anything that's inflammatory. That's going to change at some point in this season because Kyle Whittingham is not one to just keep his mouth shut about everything that happens. And I think we're trending towards like the Dan Lanning like him as a head coach. My God, does the man like to talk a little bit? We're gonna hear. I think we're just gonna get some good like coach wars, some good firm, aggressive handshakes at midfield, and I'm looking very forward to that.
I love all that. I was actually kind of thinking the same sort of wavelength there. Burt might be feeling himself. He may be auditioning for the Iowa job.
Yeah.
Kirk Ferentz may accept that like this is terminal and he just doesn't care anymore. And then also, this is another wild card wrinkle. Well, two others. We don't know how Bob Chesney is going to operate in a bigger job. You've seen John Summerall just talk.
Yeah, right.
And also, we have a guy who has been in the Big Ten for a very long time. Now he's back, unencumbered. Pat Fitzgerald could just be a total wild card.
We love a wild card, Pat Fitzgerald.
I love that. Mine, my first one is I'm looking forward to seeing who the star running backs are going to be in this league. Like Savion Hyder. Don't envy Erica Brockish having to write that name all the time.
God, no, no.
No. And there's also going to be some really good edge rushers coming in. I mean, all the guys from like what Indiana a year ago, the guy that like broke his leg. I think he's coming back or something.
Yeah, hell
He's
yeah,
there,
he is.
Steven,
Yeah.
Steven the broken leg man.
Shout out to the 5th-year eligibility rules. Yeah, of course, Indiana was like one of the first ones to take
Yeah.
major advantage of that.
Absolutely. I mean, and then Mateo Uyunglele is going to probably just thrive there in Eugene.
Yeah, and I mean you got guys like Kenyatta Jackson at Ohio
Mhm.
State, some Bo Atkinson, I think is still there as well. North Carolina
Yeah.
transferred to Ohio State. So I mean, you've got a lot of defensive talent that's going to be fun to see, even though the quarterback's obviously still the headlines. And that leads me to, I'm excited to see these quarterbacks play, man. There's a lot of really fun quarterbacks in this league, even on teams that aren't that good. Drake Lindsey's a lot of fun. Drake Lindsey, I think, has a chance to play his way into some draft conversations. Even if I don't think Minnesota is like necessarily all that in a bag of chips. But Damon Williams, a lot of fun. And then you've got the heavy hitters like your Jade Mayavas, your Dante Moores, your Julian Sands, I don't know, Josh Hoover's probably somewhere in between all of that. But I'm excited to see what it looks like. You have Nico out there. You have my boy Anthony Calandria. Like this is a really fun quarterback league to be able to watch.
You got my guy in Childs. Things are going to get easier for him. Caden Hauser at Illinois, he's going to be good too.
Yeah, Caden Hauser's a good call.
I'm looking forward to seeing Chip Kelly call him plays for Northwestern.
I wonder if he wears the vest.
You know how like Urban Meyer was like eating cold Papa John's pizza at the bowels of like Lucas Oil Stadium
Oh
after
yeah.
losing the Big Ten championship? You're gonna see you're gonna see you're gonna see Chip Kelly eating a Portillo's hot dog on the red line.
Dude, he's gonna be doing it on the sideline. What are you talking about? Chip Kelly doesn't care.
He's got to get out of Evanston so he goes to the south side where nobody's gonna care. He's going down to Chinatown to get some MSG.
Oh man.
You got anything else?
I'm excited for, and this is obviously a little self-explanatory, but we do have three pretty stone cold locks for the playoff this year. And lo and behold, they play a lot of each other. I think I'm excited for the big games in Big Ten. Like they're at the SEC. I think that for me, the SEC, when there's a big game, it gets somewhat watered down because it feels like there's a big game in the SEC every single week. When the Big Ten has a big game, it has a little bit different feel because you don't get games of that magnitude necessarily every single week. And we're talking about national championship, college football playoff contenders when these teams match up. So, like, I'm very excited to watch, these matchups on the schedule this year.
I love that. And just to throw something else out there, I'm just going to say, particularly with these big three, I want to see how they handle the pressure, the
Yeah.
expectations of like, you're a shoo-in, you're a lock. They've earned that right to be there. And Georgia's done the same thing there too in the SEC. It's Ryan Day's won a national championship. Coach Sig has won a national championship. Dan Lanning's been at Oregon.
Dan Lanning's tried. Yeah.
So I think among those three, with Lanning, Sig, and Day, one of them's going to handle it well. Another one's not, and the other one's going to fluctuate. I can't wait to see who that is.
I think the fluctuator might be Kurt Signetti.
I think
Like
so too.
the more I think about it, just because like he is in a new position. The brashness that he showed up to Indiana with was refreshing at first, and then it has worn on some people since then. I still find it funny for sure, but it has worn on some people to some degree. But just you think about where Indiana was 2 years ago when he showed up, and you think about where they are now. They were the plucky underdog in 2024. Then they were can he repeat it in 2025? Well, now everyone's giving you the respect, and it's like, okay, we have to take Indiana seriously. Well, now that everyone's taking Indiana seriously, what does that look like? We don't necessarily know, and it might be new waters for Kurt Signetti to navigate.
Yeah, he's gotta figure this out, man. He's the brashness is like you can't burn that hot for that long, but he does, and we do, because this was episode 298 of Fall Start. Holy hell, man!
Almost 300, man. What is the ACC or Big 12 going to be 300?
The Big 12 is going to be
300. Oh yeah, hell yeah! That's right in the spirit of the show.
Need some more branding for that league.
That's right.
But we obviously have branding here. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter, the X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow along with the show at CFB Fall Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. Like 5-star binder. School's back in session. It's great. There's still going to be kids at Atkins Park on Friday, but I'm not going to be here, and that's okay.
Open the schools, man. That's all I'm saying. Educate the children.
It's educate the children, feed the children.
That's right. Do at least do one of them. I don't really care which one.
Don't leave us with the babies, because this is False Start.